With the lifting of the shelter in place, we are able to begin what is going to be our phase one of a slow re-entry into some in-person meetings. So we will continue to have this weekend our online services. You'll be able to find our services on Facebook. You'll find them on our website. You'll find them on YouTube. But we also want to, in addition to that, open up a service this week in our parking lot. Now, we're going to just make this as another edition. It's going to have the same music and the same message. It's going to be at the same time. The parking lot service will start at 9 o'clock, just like everything else when it publishes. So this is just another opportunity. This is going to be for anybody who is healthy, who's feeling good, who's not showing any symptoms, and wants to show up to a service. This is going to be for those who may just need to get out and take a drive. You may need a change of scenery, and you may enjoy a service where you can sit in your car and participate in worship. Now, here's how we're going to do this. It's going to be a little bit different from the ways that you've seen other churches maybe do this. We will not be playing our services over loudspeakers. So in some churches that are meeting, they're setting up in big venues and they got big speakers and they're pushing the sound back as far as they can. We're not gonna take that option. And the reason is because we're right in the middle of town. We're on Main Street. And so what that means is that surrounding us, there are sizable neighborhoods, and quite frankly, we want to be the best neighbors they have. We don't want to wake them up early on a Sunday morning. We don't want to be too loud for them. We're not going to get in their way. We don't want to disturb them because our witness for Christ is more important than our ability to be loud. So the way we're going to do that this time is that we're going to transmit our service through an FM transmitter to your car radio. And what that means is Brother Joey and I will be on a platform. He'll do the same songs he would have been doing online. I'll preach the same message that I'm going to preach online, but it'll just be live. You'll be able to see us with your eyes, but you'll hear us through your radio. Right now, we're planning to use the radio station 88.3, and it's coming through loud and clear, and we're looking forward to that time together. Now, in addition to being safe and wise, we also want to be good worshipers and simultaneously good citizens. We have talked with and reviewed the expectations of local and state government, and we've talked to them in a way that I think we've given them some parameters that we're choosing to follow, and we've had them okay what we're doing. And so here's going to be our list of drive-in church protocols that we're going to ask that every person follow as a way of being good neighbors and good worshipers. Number one is this: we want to stay in our cars at all times. Now, what you need to understand is the service is going to start at 9. It's going to be over around 9:30. It's going to be a short service. We don't want you to sit there all day in your car. We're going to accommodate that. But the building will not be open at all, not even for restrooms. So just prepare accordingly. Number 2 is this: we're going to ask that you would keep your windows rolled up and your radio turned on. Now, here's why we're doing this. We're taking this added extra precaution because we don't want to get in a situation where we're going to have to put one car, skip a spot, one car, skip a spot. We want to be able to put as many people in our parking lots as would like to come to church that day, but we also want to practice wise social distancing so that no one would feel afraid. And so if we keep our windows rolled up and we keep our radio on, we'll be able to have service in that way. Now, let me just say this. Some of you may be in an age demographic where you feel totally secure in rolling your windows down and watching the service, and it may be a beautiful day. We don't know what the weather's going to be like exactly. It's Mississippi, so it could change 100 times before we get there. So you may feel totally secure, but the person sitting next to you, they may be extra leery of of the virus in a way where they don't want any kind of exposure. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to look to the New Testament, and we don't ever want to be a stumbling block for our brothers. We don't want to do anything that might offend them. So we're going to put some added precautions in the way we do things. So windows rolled up and stay in the car at all times. Keep your radio on. Number 3, we're not going to have a time where we get out and we shake hands. Let me speak to this one. I do not believe that anybody is going to get in trouble in Petal, Mississippi for shaking somebody's hand. As a matter of fact, I would love to get out and shake hands. I'd love just to see somebody besides this camera every once in a while. And so I would love that, but we're not going to do it. The reason we're not going to do that is because we may feel okay and we may have all been socially isolated and all that kind of stuff, so we may be fine. The problem would come is, we're on Main Street. Everybody will be driving down Main Street. The traffic will be what it always is on a Sunday morning, I imagine. Here's what I don't want. I would not want it to be said that those people down there at Petal-Harvey, they were not concerned about their community or their neighbor, or they were setting a bad example. If anything, we as believers want to set the highest example. We want to be good citizens, but we want to be godly role models as well. So, number 4, please be flexible. We're praying for a steady release in our ability to have services. We're hoping for a steady release back to normal eventually. But we want to also be prayerful to the Lord about who's sick and for their well-being and for their healing. But if numbers go the other way, we will abide by the recommendation of our officials. We have waited to do this. We've had an FM transmitter for weeks now, but we wanted to be good examples and abide by the request of our government and our leaders. And so we've waited till the stay-at-home order lifted in order to be able to do this. And so if they ask us again to socially isolate or stay at home, we will abide by those policies because we want to be good citizens. So be flexible. And then finally, we're going to ask that you be prayerful. We want this to be a helpful time. There are some people that live alone. They don't have family in their homes. They're as isolated as it gets normally. So the last several weeks of them staying at home and having their groceries delivered and having no contact, we want to be a blessing to not just their ability to get out of the house, but to their mental health and their emotional health. So as we meet together to be a spiritual blessing, hopefully to our church, we also want to be an outlet for people to, even if it's as simple as drive into the parking lot, park. You can see me and Brother Joey. You can hear us on the radio. We'll pull out when it's time to be done. We want this to be beneficial to people's spiritual health and their emotional health. So why don't we be prayerful about that? I'm looking forward to this time, looking forward to seeing some folks. I know that a lot of our folks will continue watching online. And listen, that's totally okay. But if you're in a position where you'd like to just come pull in, maybe put your whole family in one vehicle so it frees up parking spots for everybody else, you come on, and we'd love to spend that time. We're going to start promptly at 9 o'clock, and we look forward to what the Lord's going to do.